Good morning, dear students. My name is Dr. Shuaib Mohammad Bhat. I am working as Assistant Professor in the Department of English at Institute of Aeronautical Engineering, Hyderabad. Today in this video lecture, I shall be discussing the role of effective listening in successful management. We talked about role of effective writing. We talked about the role of effective reading. So today, as this reflects in our syllabus in this module, so we are going to discuss role of effective listening in successful management. I have discussed with you the listening skill. What is listening skill? How can we attain listening skill? What is the role of listening skill among all the other 4 skills which we require for language learning? Like we have listening, we have speaking, we have reading, we have writing. These all are 4 skills which are commonly known as LSRW skills. These skills, they are required in order to learn a language, any language. So what I want to tell you, we are done with listening as a skill. We discussed what are different types of listeners. We discussed what are different stages of listening, where I talked about receiving, where I talked about remembering, understanding, evaluating, and responding. We also talked about different types of listeners like surface listeners, active listeners, passive listeners, partial listeners, different types of listeners we discussed. Today, our whole thrust, our whole focus is on what is the role of listening in successful management. How can we be successful in the management with the help of effective listening? What's its role there? Let's see what is the role of effective listening in successful management. I would like to just go with the introduction first. Effective listening, it's a cornerstone of successful management. It's a cornerstone of successful management. Management or any work, any enterprise is incomplete without effective listening. If you are a family member at your home, the normal duty the regular duty which you are performing, that is being a member of a family. You may be the head of the family, or you may be any subordinate or any member of the family. So your family will not remain united, will not remain one, if you people are not listening to each other, if the family members are not listening to each other. Because as I told you, there is a writer, he says, listening means to heal one's wounds. If you want to make others feel you are special, you can make them feel they are special to you by the help of listening, when you listen to them. So listening has a power. It builds relationship. It strengthens your ties, your relationship. It maintains the relation. It makes you to maintain the relationship, to go on with the relationship. It builds your intrapersonal communication. It builds social relationship among people. So that's why we speak effective listening. It is the cornerstone of successful management. Management is incomplete without listening. It is the cornerstone. It is the foundation. It is the base of the successful management. And it is playing a pivotal role in fostering positive workplace dynamics. It plays a very important role, a very crucial role, a very pivotal role. For what? In fostering positive workplace dynamics. Workplace dynamics, workplace culture. You are working at a place. If you listen to your boss, there are chances you will get good grades, you will get promoted. If your boss is not listening you properly, there are chances there would be a faulty communication. Company will not progress because there is not coordination between the boss and the employers. So it fosters positive workplace dynamics. Wherever you are working, it may be a school, it may be a college, it may be a university, it may be an industry, it may be an organization, it may be any office. So you can better maintain that workplace culture, workplace dynamics, if you effectively listen to each other, if you pay attention to each other. So when we listen to each other, we make each other feel that we all are special to each other. When you listen to others, you make them feel, yes, you are there for them. They are special to you. So when we have such work culture, when we have such culture of listening to each other at any workplace, obviously the workplace dynamics will boost. Workplace culture will improve. There would be positive results. There will be progress. There will be growth, both at the industry level. Both the progress will be for the company, and the progress will be for the individuals who are working in that company. So this is very important to understand. Effective listening, it plays a pivotal role. For what? For fostering this positive workplace dynamics. It enhances team collaboration and ultimately contributing to the organizational success. Effective listening, it helps you to enhance team collaboration. You are working in a collaboration, you are working as a team. And we all know, when we work in collaboration, when we work as a team, we can bring revolution in the world. Because a team is a group of members who think in the same way regarding an issue, regarding a problem, regarding any task, regarding any assignment. So when we work in collaboration, there are more chances of growth. There are more chances of success. When we work individually, there are more chances of facing failures. More labor is needed, more hard work is needed, because you are individually trying to finish an assignment. But when the same assignment, when it has the attention of a group, of a big group, of a big crowd, obviously it will get finished very quickly and easily. So effective listening, when we listen to each other, so we are letting others in our group, we are working in collaboration, we are working in a unity. And when we work in collaboration, we all know that will contribute to the success of organization. It's not only that the organization where you work, that only will get success. That will get success, but at the same time, the people who are working for that organization, but also the people who have formed that organization, the people who work in collaboration for the well-being of that organization, they will also get success. They will get promoted. They will get their projects or their products. They will get them. They will sell them out to the market. If you are working in an industry, so effective listening, it plays a pivotal role in any organization, at any workplace. It lets you to work in collaboration. It lets you to just give success to your company, to your organization, and to yourself. The ability of managers to actively listen to their employees' peers, superiors is a key leadership skill that goes beyond simply hearing words. We see there are a lot of managers, there are a lot of the heads of different companies, different organizations. When they listen to their subordinates, when they listen to their employees, their companions, their peers, their superiors or inferior people, so when they listen them carefully, so this listening carefully to the companions, to your seniors, to your juniors, it says that it shows that you are having a good leadership quality, leadership skill. Because a leader is not only a person who does not listen to others, who becomes a dictator at times. No, a successful leader is that person who listens to his companions, to his colleagues, to his peers, to his seniors, to his juniors, to the subordinates. And when you listen to them, obviously you get a strong connection with them. They will work for you tirelessly. They will boost you and your company, your product which you are handling with them. So it comes, effective listening makes, or effective listening comes under the good leadership qualities. And it does not only mean to hear the words. I told you what is hearing and what is listening. Hearing and listening, they are both different domains. Hearing means to only just receive the sounds, but when we do not pay attention to them, that's hearing. When we do not show concentration, when we do not try to extract meaning from the received sounds, that's hearing. Rather than listening is a deliberate activity, that's a volunteer activity, where we receive the sounds and we interpret them in meanings. We try to extract meaning from those sounds. That's listening. So listening does not mean hearing. Hearing is the first step of listening. Listening means to listen and comprehend. It involves understanding. It involves empathy and the capacity to respond constructively. So effective listening does not only mean hearing, it means to receive. It means to have empathy towards the listener, towards the speaker. And it means to give a good response, to give a good feedback, to respond constructively, to give a positive feedback or healthy feedback. Healthy feedback means the feedback which is honest. We should not falsely praise others. We should not just flatter others. We should give constructive feedback. If you feel there is some other improvement is needed, we can tell others, yes, no, your work, your point, your assignment, your argument, it needs to be mended like this. So that is what comes under effective listening. Effective listening is not only you are getting the information and you are silent if others are wrong. No. It means to provide a constructive feedback. Let's talk about different points which show us what? The role of effective listening in successful management. What is its role? Building trust and rapport. It builds trust. We can build trust with effective listening, and we can build that connection with the people with effective listening. I'll show you how. See, trust through understanding. What does it mean? Effective listening involves not just hearing words, but understanding the emotions, concerns, perspectives behind them. When you listen to people, it does not only mean you are hearing, you are only identifying the sounds. That's not listening. Listening means if somebody has come to you, if somebody shares some concern to you, if somebody is talking to you, so listening means when you understand his or her emotions, his or her concern, his or her perspective. And when you see what is behind the emotions, what is behind the words, what does the person really want to convey to you? What does the person really want to speak to you? When you understand that thing, when you know that thing, when you try to reach to that level of that communication, that's called effective listening. And now see, managers, as we are talking about management, that's why I quote managers here. Managers who take the time to truly comprehend their employees' thoughts. They build trust by demonstrating empathy and a genuine interest in their well-being. Now you see in different companies, when the managers, when they really show that they have interest to listen to their employees, their thoughts, their emotions, their feelings. So such managers or such type of listening, it helps these managers, these people, to build a strong trust with their employees. Because let us see, when you are having a very serious concern, you want that it should be listened by the people. You want it should be understood by the people. You want to get some constructive suggestions, positive suggestions regarding that issue. But at the same time, you find a person in the form of your manager. He listens you carefully. He provides you constructive and positive suggestions. He gives you the honest feedback. Obviously, you will build a trust with that person. And when you build a trust with that person, you will work You will work in collaboration. You will work tirelessly. You will see there is successful in the overall management. The reason behind is this, that there happened the effective listening. When you spoke your concern to the manager, to your boss, he or she listened you carefully. So this is the overall reason for the successful communication or for the successful management. Now, open communication channels. What does this mean? Open communication channels. Active listening creates an open and non-judgmental space for employees to express themselves. This active listening, what is it doing? It creates an open and non-judgmental space. See, when you listen people actively, when you pay attention to the discourse of the people just, they speak to you frankly, freely, they express themselves. And if you are the boss of any company, when you give attention to your speaker, to your companions, when you listen to them carefully, you get to know about their future plans. You get to know, you can get the honest feedback of your company. You can get the honest feedback of your work culture. So this indirectly helps you to maximize the standard of your company, of your products, of your work culture. It also helps you to improve yourself. The reason behind it is active listening. You gave your ear to the people. You are listening people carefully. When you listen them carefully, so people express themselves in front of you. They express freely and frankly. Now, what will you get? When they express freely and frankly themselves in front of you, you will get a lot of suggestions, a lot of stuff which is required for you in particular and your company in general. So this fosters an environment where individuals feel comfortable sharing their ideas, concerns, and feedback, contributing to the development of strong interpersonal connections. Active listening. When you listen effectively to the people, so it fosters an environment. It gives birth to an environment where individuals feel comfortable, where the individuals, they feel comfortable to share their ideas, their emotions, their feelings, their feedback. You may not require somebody's emotions and feelings, but feedback is very important to you. Sometimes when you listen carefully to the people, they share some constructive suggestions. They tell you some important points which you require for your personal improvement and for the improvement of your organization or company. And when people speak frankly to you, there are more chances that you develop a strong interpersonal connection with the people. This would be the result. Strong interpersonal relationship with the people. This all is possible only when we listen people carefully. Then we have the next point, that is conflict resolution. What is conflict resolution? So here I would like to discuss identifying root causes. Effective listening is instrumental in identifying the root cause of conflicts. See, conflict, we cannot just run away from conflicts. Wherever there are different people working together, conflicts arise. Because different people have different mindset, different people have different ideology, different people have different perspectives, different people have different way of observing things. So when we are working in collaboration with other people, conflicts may arise. It is natural to arise conflicts in such situations where many people are working together. So now this effective listening, it is instrumental in identifying these conflicts, the root cause of conflicts. Sometimes we are working in a company where we see two people, they are not talking to each other. We see the conflict is among the people, among the employees. But we are not able to address the root causes of that conflict. We are not able to find out the cause of that, the roots of that conflict. So if we want to know the roots of that conflict, it is better to be an effective listener. When you are listening effectively, you are reaching to those root causes of the conflict. You are identifying the root cause of that conflict. So it can be identified by effective listening. When you have the power of effective listening, that means you can reach to that root cause of the conflict. So by attentively listening to the perspectives of all the parties involved, managers can uncover underlying issues, enabling them to address the sources of conflict rather than merely its symptoms. So when we attentively and when we effectively listen to the people, listen to our employees, listen to the people who work with us. So that means the managers or the people who are who are the head of any institution where such conflicts arise, they can find out the underlying issues which enable them to address the source of the conflict. So when we listen to people carefully, when we give attention to every employee, when we listen to their stories, so there are chances we may reach to the root cause of that conflict rather than the symptoms. When we do not listen to people carefully, we are only just beating, or we only get the symptoms of the conflict. But when we listen people carefully, we reach to the root of that conflict. And it is always better to, if there is any conflict, if there is any conflict or any sort of any problem in any organization, any refute in any organization, it is always better to try to reach the root of that conflict. Because when you reach the root of that conflict, there are chances that the conflict may be eradicated because you have found out the roots of that conflict. So this is possible because of effective listening. Then facilitating constructive dialogue. This effective listening, it can facilitate constructive dialogue, positive dialogue, instrumental dialogue, productive dialogue, the dialogue which is more valuable, more worthy. It can happen, it is possible because of effective listening. See, active listening during conflict resolution promotes a culture of open communication. So managers who listen empathetically encourage employees to express their viewpoints, which facilitates constructive dialogue and collaborative problem solving. Now, when you are trying to identify a problem, when you are solving or when you are resolving a conflict, so it promotes this resolving of a conflict, it promotes an open communication. Because there are 4 employees, they're not talking to each other because of some refute. So when you know the root cause of that refute, you are calling all the 4 employees. Yes, what is the problem with you? What's your issue? What's your issue? What's your issue? So it becomes an open communication where every member of the group shares his or her concern. So this open communication, it promotes this open communication. It gives birth to the open communication. Now managers who listen this open communication, they can encourage people to share their viewpoints. And when we share, if I am the manager of the company, when I give equal attention to everybody, when I make everybody feel, yes, you all are equal. So everybody will then share their viewpoint. When everybody shares the viewpoint, the result is the collaborative problem solving. The result is a constructive dialogue. And this constructive dialogue will resolve the problem. This is the benefit of effective listening. So constructive dialogue, it facilitates constructive dialogue. When we give equal weightage to all members of the company, they will share their viewpoints. And when everybody shares viewpoint, obviously the dialogue is the constructive dialogue, because everything is now in front of you. When everything is in front of you, the whole argument has been decoded in front of you. Now you can give them the better suggestions. And this better suggestion, it can give birth to the collaborative problem solving culture. So this is the benefit of effective listening. Then, enhancing decision making. We can enhance decision making with the help of effective listening. How? I'll tell you. See, gathering diverse perspectives. So, gathering diverse perspectives. When we listen to people, it's not like we are listening to a single person. When we listen to people, we are listening to a lot of people, all those people who are working in the company. See, effective listening, it involves seeking out and valuing diverse perspectives. Effective listening does not mean it's not partial listening. It's not that listening when I have, for example, 50 students in front of me. If I listen only to your CR, if I listen only to a particular student, that means it is a partial listening. That means I'm not giving equal weightage to everybody among you. Now, sometimes I can listen to a single person to whom I ask the question. That's a different type of listening. Now, when I ask it to all of you, I should listen to all of you. So, effective listening, it involves seeking out and valuing diverse perspectives. By effective listening, we respect different perspectives. We listen all people. We take in consideration all the perspectives. And managers who actively listen to input from team members, they gain access to a range of viewpoints, which contributes to well-informed and inclusive decision-making process. Now, when they listen to all their employees, because they want to listen in order to get some inputs for their company. Now, managers who listen people actively in order to get some input for their company, in order to access to a range of viewpoints. So all this effective listening, it contributes an inclusive decision-making process. Obviously, when you listen to a lot of people, it becomes easier for you to take decision because you have a lot of perspectives in front of you, lot of viewpoints are in front of you, lot of suggestions are in front of you. If you have to take decision single-handedly, you are a single person to take decision. Sometimes your decision may not be accepted by the people. Sometimes your decision may benefit only a small bunch of people. It may not benefit the masses in general, the employees in general. So it is always better to be an effective listener. When you listen to your employees, you are having a whole set of ideas in front of you. And while considering those ideas, those suggestions, that feedback, then you can come to a conclusion where you can take a good decision. Mitigating blind spots. What is this mitigating blind spots? Through effective listening, managers can mitigate blind spots in their decision making. By considering a variety of perspectives, they reduce the risk of overlooking important factors or making decisions based on incomplete information. So when we listen people carefully, so there are chances that the managers, they can mitigate blind spots in their decision making. And when they consider a variety of perspectives, different ideas, so they reduce the risk of overlooking important factors. When you listen people carefully, when you take everybody's consideration on board, when you take everybody's viewpoint on consideration, there are chances that you are reducing those factors, or you are making your decisions. Your decisions are not on incomplete information, rather they are on complete information. Then, employee engagement and motivation. One more important point there is employee engagement and motivation. So, valuing employee contribution. Active listening communicates to employees that their opinions matter and are valued. When you listen to people, you are indirectly telling people. You are making them feel, you are making them to realize that they are valued people in the company, that you value them more. So when your employees come to know about their good value in your company, So obviously there would be an engagement. Employee engagement will be there. They will work tirelessly for your company. So this sense of recognition and appreciation, it enhances employee engagement and motivation. When your employees come to know that they belong to the company, they are part of your organization, when they come to know that how good you recognize them, so it gives birth to employee engagement and employee motivation, as individuals feel a stronger connection to their work and organization, and it will result in the stronger connection of employees with their organization. Strong connection will be there. Employees will build a strong connection. They will work for the company. They will love the company. So this is possible because of effective communication. Then creating a positive work environment. Creating a positive work environment. A workplace where managers actively listen people, it fosters a positive and supportive atmosphere. Now a place where the managers, they listen to their employees carefully, with attention. They listen them attentively. They listen them freely. So it fosters a positive and supportive environment. Because the employees who work there, they work like as if they are working at their home. They feel it is their own company, their own organization. They feel they are working in a supportive environment. And employees are more likely to feel motivated to contribute their best efforts when they perceive that their contributions are acknowledged and respected. When you as a manager, when you acknowledge the efforts, the efforts and contribution of your employees, so they feel like they feel, yes, they are accepted by the company, and they feel motivated. So when they feel motivated, when they get this supportive environment, obviously the work culture, work environment, it would be conducive for everybody to work freely and frankly. Next, clear communication. So one thing is avoid misunderstanding. See, when you listen to people carefully, when you give attention to everybody who works in your company, when you pay attention to everybody, so obviously there are the chances that there would be less misunderstanding. Because you are listening to people carefully. You are not doing partial listening. You are not a passive listener. You are not a surface listener. So when your employees approach to you, you listen them carefully. And when you listen them carefully, you get the whole information regarding the company, regarding an assignment, regarding a project which they are working with. And you get a constructive feedback. When you listen to people, you get constructive feedback. And obviously when you have this reliable information with you, which you get because of your effective listening, there are less chances of misunderstanding. There are chances that your communication, the flow of communication between you and your employees, that will be error free, that will be without mistakes. So then promoting transparency. Effective listening also promotes transparency in the companies, in the management. See, active listening, it promotes transparency in communication. Managers who openly listen to their team members create atmosphere where information flows freely, reducing the likelihood of miscommunication or confusion. Obviously, when you listen to every member very freely and frankly, there will be transparency in communication. Nothing will be ambiguous, and there will not be any confusion, because you are listening carefully. You are not that egoistic person. Hey, I should not listen to the inferiors. I should not listen to my subordinates. When we do not listen carefully, confusions arise, misunderstandings arise. So these refutes, they arise there. It's always better for every person to listen each other carefully. And when we listen each other carefully, we bring transparency in our communication. And we require transparency in our communication. Then identifying opportunities and challenges. One more important point is this, which effective listening gives us. That is, we become proactive problem solving. Like we get more opportunities and we get to know about more opportunities and challenges. Let's talk about proactive problem solving. What does this mean and how does it help? What sort of help is this? Managers who actively listen are more adept at identifying potential challenges before they escalate. Now, the managers who are good listeners, who listen to their employees carefully, they quickly identify the challenges, potential challenges which are coming in their company. Now, before they escalate, before they move on with other project, they easily get to know, they easily identify where the problem or where the challenges are coming from. So, by staying attuned to their team's concerns and suggestions, they can proactively address issues, turning potential challenges into opportunities for improvement. Now, when a manager stays attuned, remains in connection with the employees, listens to them carefully, so that means he can proactively address the challenges. Not only address the challenges, but he can turn these challenges into opportunities. Why? Because he is an effective listener. Then capitalizing on innovation. Active listening to diverse perspectives. It can lead to the identification of innovative ideas and opportunities. Now, if you are an effective listener, you can easily identify an innovative idea and opportunity. Because when you listen to people, sometimes your employees may come to you with constructive suggestions. If you accept their suggestions, they may be very fruitful for your company. So they may prove very innovative for you, innovative ideas. So managers who encourage people to speak, to share their feedback, to share their suggestions. So there are chances that these managers, they can easily get innovative ideas and opportunities for their company. Then employee development. There is employee development. What is employee development? So tailoring development plans. So effective listening is crucial for understanding the professional aspirations and development needs of individual team members. Listening is very important, because when you listen to people, you come to know what sort of improvements you have to do for the development of employees and for the development of your organization. So you come to know about the weaknesses, about the loopholes of your employees and of your organization and of your management as well. So when you listen to people, when you listen to your employees, there are chances that you will develop your company, you will develop your plans, you will develop the connection between employees, you will develop your employees by accepting their demands, or sometimes by making a good connection in between employees. Then providing constructive feedback. You can get constructive feedback. First, I would like to tell you about feedback. Feedback is always important in every communication. Every communication is incomplete without feedback. Feedback is one of the fundamental needs, one of the fundamental requirements of communication. Because when you speak, you do not know what impact your speech has made on your audience. When you do any work or when you introduce any object or any product, you do not know what sort of impact this product is having on the audience, on the people. But when you get the feedback of that product, you get to know what is the positive in that product and what is the negative in that product. When you get feedback from your listeners, you get to know what impact this speech is having on your listeners. So feedback is important. So when we listen to people, there are chances we'll get feedback, constructive feedback. If I am a manager and I have the habit I am not listening to people, how can I get constructive feedback? There is no chance to get feedback. I can get feedback only if I listen to people carefully. When I listen to people carefully, I'm getting feedback. So, and this feedback is useful for me as an individual and for the whole company. So we can get feedback with effective listening. Adaptability and continuous improvement. So feedback loops for improvement. So when you listen to people carefully, there are chances they will provide you feedback, and this feedback will make you able to identify your loopholes, your loops, your problems, which you need to just improve, which you need to just rectify quickly. So this you can adapt to yourself, or you can make adaptability among the employers by the help of effective listening. It encourages a learning culture. When you listen to people, you are encouraging a learning culture, because by active listening you learn a lot of things from your employees. And this I am openly telling in front of you. I learned a lot of lessons from my students. Yeah, this is true. I learned good lessons from my students. And this learning of lessons from my students is only possible when I have the passion for listening. When I listen to students, then only I got able to just listen to get those different lessons from my students. So listening, it encourages a learning culture. Then crisis management and resilience. So we can easily detect the issues. If there is any crisis, any problem in the company, we can easily get to know, we can easily identify that problem with the help of effective listening. And we can build that resilience, we can build trust, we can build strong connection between the employers by the listening also. And now the conclusion, I would like to conclude like the role of effective listening in successful management, it cannot be overstated. It cannot be downplayed. It's not a downplaying thing. It cannot be downplayed. It plays a vital role. Effective listening, it plays vital role for in the successful management. It's a foundational skill that contributes to building positive workplace relationships. It's a foundational skill. How is it a foundational skill? It helps us to build a positive workplace relationship, resolving conflicts, making informed decisions, and fostering a culture of open communication. So these are the benefits which we get from effective listening. And organizations that prioritize and cultivate effective listening skills among their managerial staff are likely to experience improved team dynamics. Organizations, companies whose managers cultivate the habit of effective listening, we see in their companies there is team dynamics is there, higher employee satisfaction is there, and ultimately there is a greater success in their endeavors. So I would like to stop here. This is all for today. If you want extra information regarding the topic, you can consult these sources. They will prove very fruitful for you in order to get extra information. This is all for today. Thank you. Thank you for listening me carefully. Thank you very much.
Like, share, and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.